My name is MYC4, and about 4 years ago I got an idea. And I met my co-founder Tim Wang, and we had an idea: how could we get the internet to actually have a value for businesses in Africa? And how could those businesses, if they were connected on the internet, actually grow? And to do that, they needed some investors, which will come with some knowledge. And we spent a couple of years on this idea and making different prototypes. And it ended up with that 2 years ago that we had a kind of the first real prototype to start with. And it was called MYC4, MYC4. And it's a marketplace. So MYC4 is a digital marketplace where in one side you can meet a number of micro and small middle-sized enterprises from Africa. They are already in business and they can articulate how they can grow their business if they can get a loan from the other side of the equation, being you, the investor. And the investors can be numbers, it can be different people, individuals, it can be workplaces, it can be companies, it can be institutions. So what we want to combine is the African businesses with the investors, and to do that we have created a digital marketplace where everybody can meet. I think in all businesses, and whatever business you have, a business starts with defining that you can fix a need for somebody. And Tim and I, we saw, why is Africa the poorest place in the world? There live 750 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, and half of them, 375 million people, live in absolute poverty. And Tim and I, we just said, can we create momentum to create business in Africa around these people? Then we believe that business is a way out of poverty, not charity. In other words, our thinking is, don't give a woman or a man a fish, give them a fishing rod and learn them how to fish, then they will have fish for the rest of their life. So the whole vision we have here is we will combine the social need of something which is completely stupid, that people die of starvation every single day. In this moment there's somebody dying in Africa because there's not food enough, and we will put the business element around this, and there's nothing new in this. This has happened all over where we had gone from, take Denmark, 60, 70 years ago, it was not unnormal that a Danish family would consist of 6, 7, 8 children, that the children would be sent out to work when they were 7 years. It was considered a poor country. If we look at the last 2 generations of wealth generation, that has not come from the public sector, that has come from the private sector. The private sector needs then to, of course, pay into the public sector to get welfare to work. And for Africa to get up to that stage, we first need to eradicate poverty. You can simply not get on with this if we don't get over the poverty period. I think the expansion of MYC4 comes very, very traditional. You have 2 entrepreneurs in the garage. They sit and discuss something. They engage a lot of people. They themselves 100% know what they want to build, but nobody else really understands it. And they move on because they really burn for this and there's a lot of passion to this. So you go in from this very, very early seed idea into a seed phase. You get the first employed people into the organization who believe in the same dream and vision. They might not always have the right qualification for the next phase. And you get some friction when you go from idea to creation of the idea to commercialization of the idea. And MYC4 is very classical in this, from 2, 3 people to 5, 7 people in the seed phase to now where we consider ourselves to be in an early phase. We have a proof of concept. We are working on making it scalable. It's not yet scalable. So we are in an early phase organization, which is going to the next step, which will be growth. So we will follow a very classical pattern in how entrepreneurship and companies are starting up and how they will grow. We expect the company next year, in a year from now, will be between 60 and 70 people. If you look on MYC4's challenges in these different phases, which I described, then in the proof of concept phase, when we started and went out to the public, there was not enough businesses to invest in. So the investors came in and they extremely quickly invested all the businesses. I'll give you an example. We had businesses for about 20,000 euros on the platform a year ago. Now we have businesses for €1 million lying, 250 businesses lying on the platform. So now there's plenty of business for the investors. So now we are lacking investors. So it's kind of this balancing which we are working with. So the type of investors which we're engaging with is also institutional investors. We see MYC4 being as well a tool for a family or private person coming with 100 euros, as well as African Development Bank coming with 5 or 10 or 20 million euros. Everybody can use the platform as it's free to use. So there's no reason not to invest into Africa. So this is our balance. We actually had, what has surprised us the most is that everybody told us a year ago that we could not create the businesses enough. Then we proved that, and then it became more difficult than we expected to actually get investors' attention. So, you know, were they really sincere in what they had said? Because they said to us, prove you can find the businesses and you'll get the money. We believe it will come, but it has taken a little bit more time, and that's what I refer to as the ketchup effect. They're a little bit slow, some of these organizations.